Learning English can be fun, especially when you use interesting content like talks about habits. Listening to real English helps you understand how native speakers talk, learn new words, and improve your pronunciation. If you're at the B1 or B2 level, this is a great way to practice your skills. Self-help topics are perfect for learning English because they explain ideas clearly, repeat important points, and share stories that keep you interested. Plus, they often include positive messages that can keep you motivated. This is important because learning a language can feel difficult sometimes. When you listen to personal development content, you get several benefits. First, the positive messages help you stay encouraged. Second, self-help speakers usually use simple vocabulary and real-life examples, so it's easier to understand. Third, they often speak clearly and at a comfortable speed, making it great for practicing listening. As you listen, pay attention to how ideas connect. Notice the words and phrases that link ideas together. Listen for words that the speaker emphasizes to show what is important. The vocabulary usually focuses on topics like personal growth, habits, and life skills, all useful areas for everyday conversations. Also, try to spot phrasal verbs and common expressions. These are natural parts of everyday English and will help you sound more fluent. Notice conditional sentences like, if you do this, then that will happen. You will hear these a lot in advice and self-help talks. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Focus on the main ideas and how they connect. You can listen more than once, first to get the main idea, then to find key phrases, and finally to practice repeating parts you find interesting. Remember, the best way to learn English is to enjoy the content itself, not just study the language. The ideas in the following talk are designed to be both interesting and useful, so you can learn English naturally, while also learning how small habits can lead to big changes in your life. Now, let's explore some powerful ideas about how tiny habits can make a big difference.
Atomic habits, tiny changes, remarkable results.
Imagine your life as a plane taking off from an airport. If the pilot changes the flight path by just a few degrees, it might seem insignificant at first. But over a long journey, this small adjustment would lead to a completely different destination. This is how habits work in our lives. Tiny changes that compound over time to create dramatic results. James Clear, in his groundbreaking work, teaches us that the quality of our lives depends on the quality of our habits. Most people think massive success requires massive action, but real transformation comes from the compound effect of hundreds of small decisions made consistently over time. Consider the mathematics of small improvements. If you can get just 1% better each day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the end. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day, you'll decline nearly to 0. This is why small habits matter so much. They are the compound interest of self-improvement. We often dismiss small changes because they don't seem to matter in the moment. If you save a little money today, you're still not a millionaire tomorrow. If you study a language for 1 hour today, you won't be fluent tomorrow. If you go to the gym once, you won't have a transformed body tomorrow. We make a few changes, but the results never seem to come quickly, so we slide back into our previous routines. But the effects of our habits multiply as we repeat them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, yet the impact they deliver over months and years can be enormous. Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. Your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Your net worth is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. What you get in life is not what you want, it's what your habits deliver. Most people don't realize that winners and losers have the same goals. It's the systems behind how they achieve those goals that make the difference. Goals are about the results you want to achieve, while systems are about the processes that lead to those results. Goals are good for setting direction, but systems are best for making progress. The problem with focusing solely on goals is that they create an either-or conflict. Either you achieve your goal and are successful, or you fail and are disappointed. With a systems-first mindset, you fall in love with the process rather than the product. The most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. Each time you perform an action, you are becoming the type of person who does that sort of thing. The most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Your identity emerges out of your habits. Every belief you have about yourself, positive or negative, is shaped by your actions. This means building better habits isn't just about what you do, but who you become. The process of building habits can be divided into 4 simple steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. This cycle is at the core of every habit, and understanding these 4 steps can help us understand how to change bad habits or form good ones. First, the cue triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. It's a bit of information that predicts a reward, like seeing a piece of cake, smelling coffee, or hearing a notification sound from your phone. Second comes the craving, which is the motivational force behind every habit. Without some level of motivation or desire, without craving a change, we have no reason to act. Third is the response, which is the actual habit you perform. Whether this response occurs depends on how motivated you are and how much friction is associated with the behavior. Finally, the reward is the end goal of every habit. The first purpose of rewards is to satisfy your craving. But the second purpose is to teach you which actions are worth remembering in the future. To build better habits, we can use these 4 laws. The first law, cue, make it obvious. The second law, craving, make it attractive. The third law, response, make it easy. The fourth law, reward, make it satisfying. To break a bad habit, invert these laws. Make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it difficult, make it unsatisfying. One of the best ways to build a new habit is to identify a current habit you already do each day and then stack your new behavior on top. This is called habit stacking. After current habit, I will new habit. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. The environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. We tend to adopt habits that are praised and approved of by our culture. We don't choose our earliest habits. We imitate them. We follow the script handed down by our friends and family, our church or school, our community and society. One of the most practical ways to eliminate bad habits is to reduce exposure to the cue that causes it. If you can't seem to get any work done, leave your phone in another room. If you're continually feeling like you're not enough, stop following social media accounts that trigger jealousy. The most effective form of learning is practice, not planning. Focus on taking action, not being in motion. Planning and strategizing are important, but they don't produce results by themselves. Only when preparation turns into action do you actually get a result. The human brain loves a challenge, but only if it is within an optimal zone of difficulty. Tasks that are significantly below your current abilities are boring. Tasks that are significantly beyond your current abilities are discouraging. But tasks right on the border of success and failure are incredibly motivating. The Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, but just right. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. We get bored with habits because they stop delighting us. The outcome becomes expected. As our habits become ordinary, we start derailing our progress to seek novelty. The upside of habits is that we can do things without thinking. The downside is that we stop paying attention to little errors. Habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery. Reflection and review is a process that allows you to remain conscious of your performance over time. The tighter we cling to an identity, the harder it becomes to grow beyond it. The more you let a single belief define you, the less capable you are of adapting when life changes. If you're a perfectionist, you may avoid challenging situations where you might fail. The key is to keep your identity small. See yourself as someone who is in the process of learning, growing, and developing. Your habits are how you embody your identity. When you make your bed each day, you embody the identity of someone who is clean and organized. When you write each day, you embody the identity of a creative person. When you train each day, you embody the identity of an athletic person. The real reason habits matter is not because they can get you better results, although they can do that, but because they can change your beliefs about yourself. They help you build identity-based habits where you focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. This way of thinking about habits connects your behaviors with your self-image. You can visualize it like this. Outcomes are what you get, processes are what you do, and identity is what you believe. Many people begin changing their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve, but the alternative is to focus on who you wish to become. Behind every system of actions are a system of beliefs. You can try to copy the habits of successful people, but if those habits conflict with your existing beliefs, you will fail to maintain them. To truly change your habits, you need to change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behavior. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your habits. It's a two-way street. The good news is that you're not locked into your current identity. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today with the habits you choose today. True behavior change is identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but the only reason you'll stick with one is that it becomes part of your identity. When exercise becomes part of your identity, it's not something you have to motivate yourself to do. It's simply who you are. The key to building lasting habits is focusing on creating a new identity first. Your current behaviors are simply a reflection of your current identity. What you do now is a mirror image of the type of person you believe that you are, either consciously or subconsciously. To change your behavior for good, you need to start believing new things about yourself. You need to build identity-based habits. Ask yourself, who is the type of person that could get the outcome I want? Once you have a handle on the type of person you want to be, you can begin taking small steps to reinforce your desired identity. Each time you choose to perform a habit, it's like casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. As the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. Ultimately, your habits matter because they help you become the type of person you wish to be. They are the path to changing your identity. The simple steps you take each day compound over time and determine the person you eventually become. Building habits in the present allows you to do more of what you want in the future. It's a form of delayed gratification where you make small sacrifices now to earn bigger rewards later. This is the true power of habits. They free up future mental space and energy by making positive behaviors automatic. You may wonder why we often resist habits that we know would benefit us in the long run. This happens because our brains are wired to prioritize immediate rewards over delayed benefits. We're drawn to instant gratification, even when we intellectually understand that patience would yield better results. This is why understanding the habit loop matters so much. By carefully designing your environment and making good habits attractive and easy, you can overcome your natural tendency to procrastinate on important but non-urgent tasks. One powerful strategy is habit bundling, pairing an action you want to do with an action you need to do. This creates a link between immediate pleasure and long-term benefit. For example, you might only allow yourself to watch your favorite show while folding laundry, or only listen to your favorite podcast while exercising. Another effective approach is to use social accountability. When we know others are watching, we're more likely to follow through. This is why having a workout partner or language exchange buddy often leads to more consistent practice. The social reinforcement provides an immediate benefit, avoiding embarrassment or gaining approval, that helps overcome the delay in seeing results. Remember that the path of least resistance usually wins. Don't swim upstream against your natural tendencies. Instead, design your environment to make good habits the path of least resistance. Remove friction from good behaviors and add friction to bad ones. For example, if you want to read more books, place them prominently around your house. If you want to eat healthier, prepare nutritious snacks in advance and keep them at eye level in your refrigerator. If you want to practice a musical instrument, set it up in the middle of your living room instead of storing it in a case. The physical environment has an incredible ability to shape behavior without our conscious awareness. Many of our daily actions are prompted by our surroundings. This is why a change in environment can lead to a rapid change in behavior. Finally, remember that consistency matters more than perfection. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. Never miss twice. When you make a mistake, get back on track immediately. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be better than before. By understanding how habits work and implementing these strategies, you can reshape your daily actions. Over time, these small actions compound into remarkable changes in your life circumstances, capabilities, and identity. This process of continuous, incremental improvement is available to everyone. No matter where you start, you can build a system of good habits that leads to the life you want. The key is patience and persistence. Trusting that tiny changes, consistently applied, will yield remarkable results. And as you've been absorbing these transformative ideas about habits and personal growth, you've also been practicing your English listening skills. Notice how the language flows naturally from one concept to the next. Pay attention to transitional phrases and linking words that connect ideas. Consider the vocabulary around personal development, words like identity, consistency, environment, reinforcement, and compound effect. By engaging with meaningful content like this, you're not just improving your English comprehension, you're also developing your critical thinking skills in your target language. You're learning how to process complex ideas, follow extended explanations, and understand cause and effect relationships expressed in English. The beauty of learning through content you care about is that it doesn't feel like studying. Your brain becomes fully engaged with the ideas themselves, allowing language acquisition to happen more naturally. This mimics how we learn our native languages, through exposure to meaningful communication rather than isolated exercises. As you continue your language learning journey, seek out more content that inspires and interests you. Listen to podcasts, audiobooks, and talks about topics you're passionate about. The motivation you gain from the content itself will fuel your language learning progress, creating a virtuous cycle of improvement. Remember that small, consistent efforts in language learning, just like the small habits we've discussed, compound over time to create remarkable results. Each listening session, each new word understood, each moment of comprehension builds your skills incrementally until one day you realize how far you've come. The journey of language learning, like the journey of personal development, isn't about dramatic transformations, but about the consistent application of good practices over time. By making English learning a habit, something you do automatically without requiring enormous willpower, you set yourself up for long-term success. So continue listening, continue engaging with meaningful content, and trust that your English skills are developing with each moment of practice. The compound effect of these small efforts will eventually lead to the fluency you desire.